Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare शेर नाम संकीर्तन की जय। शेर प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We are reading from Srimad Bhagvatam, Canto 10, Chapter 81. Chapter is entitled The Lord Blesses Sudama Brahman. Verse number 8 and 9. Verse number 8. We'll recite verse number 8 and then we'll recite verse number 9 together. Ettam vichintya vasana chirabaddan vijanmana swayam jahana kimidam iti prutakatandulan. Translation: thinking like this, the Lord snatched from the Brahmana's garment the grains of flat rice tied up in an old piece of cloth and exclaimed, "What is this?" Text 9. Nanvetad upanitam me paramaprinanam sakhe tarpayanti anga mam vishvam ete prutakatandula nanvetad upanitam me paramaprinanam sakhe tarpayanti anga mam vishvam ete prutakatandula nanvetad upanitam me paramaprinanam sakhe tarpayanti angamam vishvam ete prutagatandula. बोलिए कौन बोल रहा था? ननु whether etat this upanitam brought may for me parama supreme prenanam giving satisfaction sakhe O friend tarpayanti ingratiate anga my dear mom may me Vishram who am the whole universe ete these pritaka pritaka tandula grains of flat rice. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhagavan Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Translation: My friend, have you brought this for me? It gives me extreme pleasure. Indeed, these few grains of flat rice will satisfy not only me, but also the entire universe. Purport: Srila Prabhupada writes in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is understood from this statement that Krishna, being the original source of everything, is the root of the entire creation. As watering the root of a tree immediately distributes water to every part of the tree, so an offering made to Krishna or any action done for Krishna is to be considered the highest welfare work for everyone, because the benefit of such an offering is distributed throughout the creation. Love for Krishna becomes distributed to all living entities. Presents the purpose. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadameham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunadhanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitan Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Goratvise Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Nilachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadra Bhyam Jagannadaya Te Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudodaye Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamonudo. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing on the subject matter of uh, uh, Lord Krishna blessing Sudama Brahman and Krishna's appreciation of simple devotional service, that Krishna has snatched away the food grains from Sudama Brahman. So this is Krishna's nature. A few days back we were discussing on the verse. So I was surprised that same verse in Bhagavad Gita is here also in Bhagavatam. I was not knowing. So, so this is Krishna's nature, that he appreciates simple devotional service. He loves simple devotional service. Simple devotional service in the sense that devotional service which is not contaminated by any ulterior motives, which has no ulterior motives along with it. So that is Krishna's nature. Lord Chaitanya recently we celebrated Gaur Purnima. So Lord Chaitanya, when he has come and he has done his pastimes, practically all his pastimes are an exhibition of how he appreciates simple devotional service, whether they be in Navadvip or later on in Puri and South India. When he was in Puri, when he was giving his association to Pratapadra Maharaj also, in order to exhibit the simplicity of devotional service, he practically for a long time wanted to exhibit that how he was not accepting Pratapadra Maharaj for a long time in order to appreciate simple devotional service. And Lord Chaitanya went to South India. So in South India, it's very interesting that unlike in Navadvip, where Lord Chaitanya made many followers, Lord Chaitanya, when there was Kazi, when he tried to disturb Lord Chaitanya, so Lord Chaitanya went for a civil disobedience movement. And we don't see it. And generally in Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's life, we don't tend to see it. So in Navadvip, he made quite a good number of followers in that sense. Uh, and uh, there were devotees who were wanting to associate with him, and there were people who were opposing devotees also, as we can see many times. uh, the pastimes have that devotees are lamenting that how these blasphemers, they are unnecessarily blaspheming Lord Chaitanya's mission and Lord Chaitanya's devotees. So there were devotees, there were people who were opposing Lord Chaitanya's mission and movement in Navadvip. So Lord Chaitanya had made followers in Bengal, but he went to South India. So he practiced such a simple devotional service. He never made any followers. He made followers, but not in the sense that he made followers in the sense that followers of pure devotional service, not in the sense that he they followed him and they went back to Navadvip or something like that, went back to Puri or something like that. No, only we see only Ramananda Rai was encouraged to come back to Puri and Paramananda Puri. These are the only two people whom Lord Chaitanya had encouraged to come back to Puri. Otherwise, no one else. In fact, Kurma Brahman, he said, I'll come with you. And Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport there. Lord Chaitanya said, no, you cannot go with me. You have to stay here and practice devotional service, staying in your home. And and if you practice devotional service, staying in your home, then the waves of material turbulence will not disturb you. So he said, you should chant Hare Krishna and preach. If you chant and preach, Jare deke tare ke ha Krishna upadesh, amara gya guru hoya tare desh. If you chant and preach, then the waves of material turbulence does not disturb you. So this is the instruction which has been given to Kurma Brahman. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport that this same instruction Lord Chaitanya had given throughout South India. Everywhere he went, people were wanting to come along with him. Lord Chaitanya would tell them, no, you can't come along with me. You have to stay back here. You have to take care of your family, take care of your belongings. You should not come, and neither should you bring your belongings. And take and practice devotional service. Not just practice devotional service, but also preach devotional service. So Lord Chaitanya had set an example for all of us that when we preach, then the greatest, most important thing which we should think is about the welfare of the person, more important than anything else. Because that is the essence of the mission of compassion, in the sense that the welfare of the person is more important than anything else. So Lord Chaitanya had established it by his own example. So Lord Chaitanya, so he made this clear to Kurma Brahman. And then Lord Chaitanya was so much attracted by simple devotional service. Later on Vasudev came throughout South India. There is one another important thing which needs to be mentioned also. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that when Lord Chaitanya he was in Navadvip, he did not do so much preaching as much as he has done in South India. How was it possible? Because we understand that Navadvip is the seat of learning. All the Bhattacharyas and Mishras and Chakravartis, were all part of Navadvip. Earlier, Mithila used to be the seat of learning. Later on, Sarvam Bhattacharya had made it. He went to Mithila, he learnt Vyakaran, and he came back and established Navadvip as the seat of learning. So Navadvip practically became seat of learning. And at that time, learning is the greatest opulence. Just like now, nowadays, if you see, Bollywood and cricket are considered to be greatest opulences. People are mad after Bollywood or cricket. So these are someone is a cricketer, then there are millions of followers. And sometimes we say that, we have followers and all that. The number of followers which we have in comparison to Bollywood actors and actresses is nothing. If they have say some, they would be considered to be counted. You know, they would be, they'll be counted amongst celebrities if they have at least a 10 million followers. So that's how it is. So yeah. So that is today's day and age. So at that time, the followers mean opulence means learning. Like we have, if we have a if there is a movie, famous cinema opening or something like that, they book a stadium. They book a stadium and they call everyone and they make a big festival out of it, celebration out of it, in order to make it popular. Or similarly, if there's a cricket stadium, they would spend crores, hundreds of crores, thousands of crores maybe, and thousands of crores, and people bet so much. And recently, I heard someone lost 1.5 crores in betting, and his wife committed suicide. That very day. This is the problem of betting. So in case some cricket match, IPL cricket match, some match happened, I think recently. So anyway, the point is that so thousands of crores are put in these cricket matches and Bollywood and all that. So this is the opulence in today's day and age, and in so at that time in Navadvip, the opulence was at that time in India. The culture was that the opulence was learning. So they would also probably book stadiums. If not book stadiums, at least all people would come and there would be matches for sure. Because we hear Yamunacharya when he was defeating that Pandit, he was defeating Alavandar. There was a stadium booked in front of the king. And when Lord Chaitanya, our own Lord Chaitanya, he defeated Keshav Bharati, there were all students sitting there and watching there. And that was considered to be like, Lord Chaitanya had, in order to pacify Keshav Kashmiri, he did not allow many people to be around. So the point I'm trying to make is that, this concept of booking stadiums was there from long time, maybe in a different way. So Lord Chaitanya, but interestingly in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned that Lord Chaitanya didn't make as many, I mean to say he did not preach as many people in Bengal as he did in South India. That's the point I'm trying to mention. Despite Bengal being the seat of learning, and despite Bengal being the seat of learning, and despite Bengal having that opulence at that time, So why is it so? The reason is also mentioned in Chaitanya Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The reason is also mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that the reason being that because people of South India at that time, at least, they were very much eager to accept the gift of pure devotional service. And because they were eager to accept the gift of devotional service, so therefore Lord Chaitanya had freely distributed it. So the only qualification we can see from this, we can understand that Lord Chaitanya was looking after was that eagerness. And people who have eagerness, he was freely distributing it. That's the point which I wanted to make. So, so he was looking for that simple, sincere desire to practice devotional service. There is a saying in Chaitanya Charitamrita goes on to say in Varanasi when Lord Chaitanya had come, he said, I wanted to sell my goods, but I was not getting a good price. And because I was not getting good price, I was forced to give them free of cost. And imagine if a merchant goes, he has a high expectation. There is supply, there is no demand. Then what he will do? He will reduce the price, right? So that his goods get sold away. So Lord Chaitanya went to Varanasi, it was like that. People were not ready to accept it. So he gave it free of cost. Just like that. That's what Lord Chaitanya says. So, but in comparison, at that time, the people of South India were very eager to accept it. So, therefore, Lord Chaitanya had given it, he distributed it. The point which we are trying to emphasize is that is the is the concept of simple devotional service which Lord Chaitanya had emphasized and brought out through his own example. In our own preaching, sometimes we tend to preach to a certain class of people, which may be required. But even amongst it, we have to see the sincerity, and appreciate the sincerity. And and those who are sincere, we should not, we should, those who are sincere, uh, we should put that, we should reciprocate with that. Ye tamam prabodhanti tamstatayo bhajayam. Krishna was like that. Krishna is like that. So we should appreciate with that sincerity. And Krishna will be happy with it. Lord Chaitanya himself is happy. So Vasudeva he was a very simple Brahmana. He didn't have anything. Rather, probably he was an outcast. Because outcast in the sense that he had that disease. Naturally, if somebody goes and touches him, they will be contaminated. And they not only will they be contaminated, it's a contagious disease. Just like we had COVID. If someone gets COVID, no matter how much we are compassionate, we'll maintain distance, right? Social distance. That's practical. It's practical. Vidya Vinay Sampanna, it's explained. A Brahmana sees everyone, a Pandita sees that everyone, outcast and a dog eater and a Brahmana and a tiger and everyone similar. But he will not go and embrace a tiger, no, because it's practical to not embrace. So similarly, if someone has a contagious disease, it's practical to maintain distance. But Lord Chaitanya is so much pleased by his devotional service, he broke that rule. Of course, Lord Chaitanya can digest it also. If he goes and when he was in Jharikanda, he embraced tigers also. And he embraced tigers and elephants and everyone. So Lord Chaitanya can digest it. We will not be able to digest it if we try it out. So that's a different thing. But the point we are trying to make is, so Lord Chaitanya was pleased with this outcast so much, despite his having a contagious disease, he went and he embraced him. The disease was gone. Not only was the disease gone, he became an effulgent. He became very effulgent. And his body started emitting effulgence. So when he became effulgent, then the first thing, he was concerned is that, everyone will think that I have received mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So I'll be, so probably they'll start praising me. And if they praise me, then I'll become proud. Very intelligent person. Because it's very difficult to bear the burden of praise. Why? Because along with praise comes expectation. Along with praise comes expectation. If somebody is praising, then we should understand that there's an implicit expectation that this person wants us to do that. So better keep distance from praise. you know, Better keep distance from praise. That's what this Vasudev is from. We can understand from Vasudev. So the burden of praise sometimes is very dangerous, very risky. If someone is praising unnecessarily, then you know, or if even if one is praising necessarily, we have to be careful to maintain distance. So keep ourselves safe because otherwise we have to carry the burden of being praised. So, so Vasudev is very intelligent. Therefore, of course, he's a devotee. He's super intelligent. So he immediately started saying that, I will become proud. Lord Chaitanya said, no problem, don't worry. Chant Hare Krishna and you'll not become proud. So Lord Chaitanya, he loves simple devotional service. And he met that South Indian Brahmana, and that is the example, height of pure devotional service. That Brahmana, this was in way back in 15th century, 16th century. And at that time, learning, and as we were discussing, learning is considered to be an opulence. And this Brahmana could not read Bhagavad Gita verses. It's too much. Even today, people can read Bhagavad Gita verses probably. So at that time, he was not able to read even Bhagavad Gita verses properly. And he was a Brahmana also. He was no ordinary person. So quite illiterate in that sense, we can say. And Srirangam also is a seat of learning. Srirangam also is a seat of learning. Even today, if we can, most of our devotees, and even if they come for first time, or to speak of if they have been for quite some time, they can read Bhagavad Gita in a matter of few hours. And they've been a good meter. And this was 500 years back, and at that time, learning was considered to be so important, and there were so many Brahmanas and Mishras and all these different South Indian. South India had, maybe they had different titles, whatever titles they had. Iyengars and what else, what not. So, so they had all this. So amongst all of them, but still he's so illiterate that he couldn't even read Bhagavad Gita verses. But he was crying, and there were tears of devotion falling from his eyes. And Lord Chaitanya had come, and my dear Brahmana, what pleases you so much? So he says that. Oh, I do not know how to read, but my guru had told me to read it, so therefore I'm reading. And when I'm reading, I'm seeing Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna and seeing that beautiful sight. There are always tears in my eyes. And this sight pleases my heart more than anything else. And Lord Chaitanya said that, oh, you have attained pure devotional service. And the gift which Lord Chaitanya had given him is the supreme gift. What was the gift Lord Chaitanya had given him? He said he got the realization that Lord Chaitanya is not different from Krishna. Very few people have that realization. Especially at that time, we see that nobody, only intimate devotees of Lord Chaitanya had that realization that Lord Chaitanya is not different from Krishna. Immediately he said, you are Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, don't tell this to anyone else. And this Brahmana, it is explained that every day he used to come and take association of Lord Chaitanya. So in this way he made his life perfect. So Lord Chaitanya, we don't see in Srirangam he was appreciating any other Brahmana. He went and appreciated this particular Brahmana who had such simple devotional service in his heart. And then we know the story of another South Indian Brahmana who was very spontaneous in his devotional service. He was so spontaneous that he was not even cooking for Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya went, "Arey, where is my meal? Where is my prasad? You have called me as a guest. Give me some prasad." So what can I do? Lakshman had gone for collecting vegetables. He hasn't yet come. So then, anyway, he thought that it's a lot of it's midday. So then he started cooking out something, arranged it, and he gave it. So later on, he started fasting. He was fasting. My dear Brahmana, what happened today? Yesterday Lakshman didn't come. Today what happened? Sita is having fever or what? So what can I do? Ravana. I heard that Ravana had kidnapped Sita. So I'm not able to digest that news. I'll not be able to maintain my life. So I'm going to commit suicide now. I'll fast and commit suicide now. You know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu persuaded him. Don't worry. Ravana did not kidnap Sita. Kidnapped only illusory Sita, Vedavati. So anyway, he thought the guest is there, I have to do something. He again cooked something and gave it. Later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and he bought some verses which says from some Kurma Puran, which says that how Mother Sita was not abducted and it was illusory Sita who was abducted. So this Brahmana became very happy. He cooked a big feast. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya we see, and there are many other pastimes throughout South Indian tour. And this way we can see Lord Chaitanya, how he appreciated simple devotional service. This Sudama Brahman, he became, uh, what is his name? Forward. Huh? Suklambar Brahmachari. Sudama Brahman became Suklambar Brahmachari in Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, one day he was dancing, all his associates were dancing, and Suklambar, Lord Chaitanya said, Suklambar, bring me those chipped rice. He said, what chipped rice? Then Lord Chaitanya started grabbing that chipped rice. He said, my Lord, this is not meant for you, this is not meant for you. He said, oh, and then he tasted it and he said, oh, this is so tasty. This is more tastier than any other thing which I had ever eaten. Maharaj was saying, na, Janak Maharaj, has called for Lord Ramchandra for a feast, and Janak Maharaj's wife, she was cooking. She cooked, and she made best of the arrangements. And she asked, "How is the prasad?" He said, "Nothing. This is the best prasad, but Shabari's fruits, they were better than this." You know, so Lord Chaitanya probably he might have gotten so many invitations. In Puri we see, how many invitations he gets. Sarvam Bhattacharya, he invites, Advaita Acharya, he invites, pages after pages, so many items, many items we don't know names. And even if we know, the kind of arrangements which are made, Prabhupada writes in the purport that the very fact that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is making such a description, we can understand that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami himself is a very nice cook, like that Prabhupada writes. So such feast he used to get, and such arrangements all the devotees. And then Lord Chaitanya is saying, this broken chipped rice is the best prasad I had ever gotten. So So he is so much, he is so much after the love and devotion of devotees. The fortunate thing for all of us is that Lord Krishna, he does not, Chaurashtakam, we hear from Chaurashtakam. He steals Makhan, and he also steals, the sinful activities of his devotees. We may think, अरे मेरे पास तो माखन नहीं है, हमारे पास तो माखन नहीं, हमारे पास ऐसे भक्ति नहीं है, तो हम हमारा कैसे, हमारा ऑफरिंग क्यों भगवान लेंगे? Why Krishna will take our offering? Krishna will take Sudama Brahman's offering. He will take Shuklambar Brahmachari's offering. He will take that South Indian Brahmana's offering. Why he will take our offering? He will not take my offering. So therefore Bilumangal Thakur writes, oh, let's see this Chaura. He has taken away my offering. He has taken away all my sinful reactions. But it doesn't come free of cost. Nothing comes free in this world. Everything we have to pay a price. Bilumangal Thakur says he takes away my sinful reactions, and along with me he takes away my assets also. My identity, he takes away my identity also. So if we want Krishna to take away our sinful activities, we need to have a qualification. What is the qualification? Shrunvatan Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hritantyasto hi abhadrani vidunoti suhritsatam. That is the qualification. Sometimes we think, we ask Krishna, oh, you take away my sinful reactions, you take away my sinful. Why are you not taking? Why are you not taking? Why he will take? He tells you have to pay a price. You pay a price, pay the price, then he will take. What is the price? Price is this. Have we developed that eagerness? What else is the price? How do we develop that eagerness? What is the shloka before that? Sushrushoyo Shraddhadanasya Sushrusho Shraddhadanasya Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Vasudeve Kadaruchi Sevaya Vipra Punyateda Nishevana. So that is the price. Are we offering devotional service to devotees? Have we developed eagerness? Then Krishna will be. And now this is not something which is on the stage of Bhava, and when we hear the stories of Sudama Brahman and South Indian Brahmana and this and that, and we think, oh, very nice. Nice to hear, nice to hear. Anyway, they are on the stage of Prema and I am somewhere, struggling around. How does it matter to me? Nice to hear, that's all. After that, we forget it. But then these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are something which are related to us. They are something related to us. Provided we take shelter of Krishna. So we have to learn the art of taking shelter of Krishna. Prabhupada gives example. If Prabhupada gives the example of an elephant in an upstream river. An elephant tries to swim upstream and it is so difficult. The current is flowing against it. It is so difficult, and still the elephant it's very difficult to swim. But then the elephant is such a big animal. But then there's a small fish. It can swim upstream, it can swim downstream, it can swim side stream, it can swim left stream, right stream, make some somersaults, everything it can do. Purpose is why? Because it has learned the art of taking shelter of water. So the force of material nature is so strong. And when the force of material nature is so strong, then how do we handle it? It becomes very easy to handle if we learn the art of taking shelter of Krishna. The force of material nature will not go away. The force of material nature will remain. The karma which we are carrying from lifetimes, that is not going to go away. That is going to remain. But how do we deal with that karma? That Krishna will give intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamapi antite. So when we take shelter of Krishna, then Krishna gives that intelligence, how to serve devotees, how to develop eagerness. And then, just like Sudama Brahman has broken cheap rice to offer, what do we have to offer? We have, if we offer, if we offer pure devotion, if we take shelter of Krishna, and if we offer our identity, then Krishna takes away our sinful reactions. He's a thief. So he steals cheap rice from Sudama Brahman. And what do we have? What does he steal from us? What can we do? We have nothing else other than our bad karma. So that's what he's going to steal. We don't have any other asset. The sampatti which we have is our bad karma or good karma, so-called good karma. That is the sampatti which we have, that is the opulence which we have. And that is the offering which we can make. So when we develop eagerness for Krishna, by taking shelter of Krishna, and by taking shelter of devotees, and by serving devotees, then we get the qualification to make this offering. And then Krishna accepts it. And then he steals it away. And then devotional service actually starts. Ashtaprayesha Bhaddeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And then one comes to the platform of Nishtha, and after that it goes on. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Anishta platform Ruchi Asakti. One can go ahead. After this, so the price which we have to pay is the price of our identity. Shrila Prabhupada ki jai. The price which we have to pay is the price of our identity. And the price of our sincerity. So then the process of stealing is not limited only to Sudama Brahman and South Indian Brahman, but it is extended to us also. So then we also become qualified to become, we also become qualified for being stolen. We also become qualified for becoming exploited by Krishna. That is the point, yeah. So, we also become qualified. Krishna gives us mercy as well. So, this is our prayer that we develop that eagerness and we develop, we resolve differences amongst devotees. There's one verse in Bhagavatam which says that when devotees, they resolve differences amongst themselves and they come together and chant Krishna's glories, and it comes in 11th canto, and chant Krishna's glories, then Krishna takes away all the material conditionings. I don't remember that verse. It comes in third chapter of 11th canto, 11.3.30. So resolving differences is so important. The verse starts like that: resolve differences, come together, chant Krishna's glories together. Krishna will takes away all the conditionings. That's what it says. So this is in line with that verse. Sushrushuya Shrattadanasya Vasudeve Kadaraj. Yeah? Parasparam, yeah. So this is in line with that verse. So it's our prayer that we resolve differences and come and chant and hear Krishna's glories together. And in this way develop eagerness for Krishna, so that Krishna steals away our conditionings. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? We have some few minutes remaining. Yeah. बोलिए प्रभु जी. हाँ. Praise of sincerity. Basically हमको sincere बनना पड़ेगा. We have to become sincere in our devotional service. Yeah. And then yeah, we have to become sincere in our devotional service and keep our priorities clear. Whatever Krishna wants, that's what we make our priorities as. Generally हमारा priorities कैसे है? They become mixed in our life because we have attachments. And we have attachments, therefore we think that Krishna also wants it. And because we think that results are very important for us, we think that Krishna also wants results. I'm not saying they are unimportant; they are important, but surely Krishna is not attached to it. And Krishna is attached to our sincerity. That is there. उसमें कोई doubt नहीं है. So like that. So similarly, we may have so many things in our life which we feel were very important for us, and we think that because we think Atmavan, what is that? Just like a person who has a colored spectacles, and if he has red colored spectacles, he sees everything red. So similarly, we have some particular spectacles which we are wearing. तो हमको ये मेरा अटैचमेंट, ये मेरा अटैचमेंट, ये मेरा, तो हमको लगता है कृष्ण को भी यही अटैचमेंट है. मतलब we think Krishna ko ye attachment means we think that if I fulfill the attachments, then Krishna will be happy with me. That's what we think. So we impose our conditionings on Krishna. So this is our situation right now. This is our situation right now. तो क्या करें? What should we do? What should we do? So we should know what Krishna's priorities are. How do we know? We associate with devotees. Simple. Again, the basics are as clear, as simple as they can be. We associate with devotees, serve devotees, hear from Krishna, chant Krishna's names with a sincere desire to know what Krishna wants. Krishna मेरे से क्या चाहते हैं? What Krishna wants from me? What Krishna wants from me? What Krishna wants from me? अगर ये सोचते हुए करेंगे, then Krishna also reciprocates. He will tell us what he wants from us. Maybe it will take time. It may take enthusiasm, patience, confidence. We have to have utsaha and dhairya. Through patience, if we have some patience, then Krishna he may take some time, but he will let us know what he wants from us. And then and sometimes we know, sometimes this is the experience I have. Sometimes I know what Krishna wants, and that creates fear for me. मेरे को डर लगता है, बाप रे, Krishna wants this. How can he expect this from me? Arey, he's pulling the ground from my feet. So very thought creates fear. That very thought creates, this is what Krishna wants from me. It's pulling the crown from my feet. It's the very thought creates fear. But then we keep thinking, so that over a period of time we get habituated. He's not pulling the ground after all. Yeah. So then after some time we get habituated. Okay. Yeah. Ultimately we have to give this. So like that. The first point is to know what Krishna wants. And then preparing ourselves to give what Krishna wants. Yeah. ठीक है. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.